My name is Jose Chacha Jimenez. I'm the founder of the Young Boys. Well, I think we can teach them from the lessons of how we began organizing and the trials and tribulations that go with that. A lot of people think it's just a fantasy trip. They don't understand that you get a lot of rejections. A lot of people don't want anything to do with you. They call you names like communists or terrorists or just a gang, just anything to offend you because they want to keep you away from them, especially if you're too pushy. And that's what happens with a lot of us when we try to, organize. We get a little too pushy in that. We learn from experience that the best type of organizing is to let people organize themselves. So, you're there as a guide. You're there exposing contradictions for people so that they can see for themselves what's going on. And eventually, after they see a lot of police brutality, a lot of displacement, gentrification, a lot of health conditions, a lot of people going to prison, prison abuse. Eventually, when they see a lot of that, it's a quantity of that, it explodes and it becomes qualitative. I'm talking theory now, but it becomes, qualitative. By that it means that people realize this is really happening. People are getting brutalized by the police, or and we need to do something about it. So it takes a lot of quantity and a lot of time to organize, but it's just a job. We look at it as like washing dishes or anything else. It's just a job that somebody has to do in terms of organizing. And once you learn the steps, the techniques, that you learn to practice just by doing it, then you'll pick it up and it becomes easier. But it's just a job. I think the wonderful thing that your generation has is skills that we lack, opportunities, technical equipment, Facebook, the media, that you can use that to reach more people, but mainly skills of organizing and structuring and creating a foundation. You need to create a foundation that's long lasting. And you have our experience. This is a protracted struggle. We didn't start it, we're not going to finish it. We're just part of it, part of the journey. It's a journey. And we're part of that long lasting journey for change. Every day becomes a new day for change, and we're part of that. And you can learn off of the past, off of our experience for the future. Well, one of the biggest lessons that I learned is that you're going to lose your family because if you get too passionate about what you're doing. And so you need to find a happy medium of trying to teach your family what it is that you're doing and try to get them to comprehend it. Again, it's up to them to understand. But they're going to lose a lot of good time from you because you're going to be in the field working to make change, and you need to recognize that as part of the job, part of the consequences of any job. Like anybody that works, for a living to feed their family or whatever, they're away from their family. And the family has to learn and accept that, and you also have to learn and accept that so that you understand that you're here to work for the people, for them too. But it is, depressing, and it's hard, it's difficult, because you're going to lose your family. Another difficult lesson is this is not, you're not winning an Academy Award here. You are actually fighting the system. That means you're the enemy of the status quo. That means the status quo is going to put you down. They're going to hurt you like they did Martin Luther King and Gandhi and all these other people. They're going to go after you. They're going to discredit your name. They're going to put you in jail. They're going to kill the best friends all around you and murder them. And you're going to feel that. They're going to harass you. They're not just going to surveillance you and watch you. They're going to actually harass you every single day, Try to make it look like you're crazy or something like that. Try to make it look like you're paranoid. They're going to do that. That's part of the lessons that we learn, and that's they have government programs to do that. You know, you're not, again, you're not there for an Academy Award. This is not a career job. This is something that you're doing because you love the people, because you love to fight for social justice. But you got to pay the consequences, just like every leader did. Martin Luther King, Che Guevara, Emiliano Zapata, Fred Hampton, Reverend Bruce Johnson and Eugenia Johnson from the Young Lord's Church, who were murdered. These were martyrs, and you're going to be a martyr, or you're going to be a victim of that repression that the state is going to come down heavy on you. So do not underestimate the role of the government. They're going to come after you if you're really fighting for the people. I don't know what to do differently. I mean, we dealt with the issues as they were at that time. Probably learn, probably get more discipline, I think. Right now I'm not using, I've been clean from drugs, alcohol, and all that. Probably gets more serious earlier, because I spent a lot of time doing that too, coming out of the gang and doing all that stuff. So probably leaving that alone earlier, I think would have been helpful, because that was a tool that they used against us too. They tried to make us relapse and do other things like that to discredit us. So I would try to stay away from that and to really be committed to the cause. So that's what I would probably do different. Other than that, I think we did what we had to do at that time. Everything changes according to time, conditions, and place. And so now this is a different time than when we were around. It's not a template for today, what we did in the past. It's a lesson. So we have to adjust for today in a different way. Today we're doing things like archiving our material, like making videos to help teach people in that way. We're still teaching people, but we're doing it in different forms. I did more demonstrations then. We need to continue demonstrations, but we need to archive, we need to use social media, whatever we can to get the message out. I guess that's what it is. We need to keep pace with technology.
Okay.
I think getting people involved in the programs, getting them involved. We kept getting people involved. They kept growing. Because they wanted to get involved. So the movement kept building. It's still building today. So this event today here with the Panthers, it's a show of unity, and there's more Latinos involved than were involved in '69 that I've seen faces, a lot of Latino faces today with the Panthers, and that. So we're all united. People from AIM, the American Indian Movement, are here. Some hillbillies from Slim Coleman's group and from the Rainbow, the Young Patriots are here. So poor whites and that are here. Some middle class whites are here. Some liberal whites are here. So there's a lot of show of force. African American community from various classes, middle class, street folks are here, and veterans of activists, are here in big numbers. So that's it's a different time, and that's what we need at this time. Well, I think we need to take the past, which was a mission of power to the people, a real simple mission that the Panthers came up with, and that the young warriors called it self-determination. In other words, and neighborhood empowerment. So that was our mission: self-determination and neighborhood empowerment for Puerto Rico, for all Latino nations of the world and oppressed nations of the world, and for communities. It's the same thing as power to the people. And so we need to take that and improve on it, because that's like a principle that doesn't change. That's our mission. That's what we're fighting for. So we need to improve on it, and we need to use the platform and program as a tool, as a mechanism for organizing more and more people into the struggle. So we have an opportunity to organize, just like the police. The COINTELPRO program has an opportunity because of computers and automation and all that to really do surveillance on bigger, large numbers. We also have Facebook and social media and Twitter and all this other stuff where we can also organize large numbers, so we can continue to improve our struggle even more. We need to free Puerto Rico. That hasn't been free, and that's one of the major goals of the young lords. We've been in denial of it being a colony, a direct colony of the United States, and we're here. That's why we're here, because we're trying to continue to build more networks of support within the United States. We don't need one congressman. We need all the Congress people. You know what I'm saying? To be supportive of us. But we still need to organize ourselves in a fashion that we're ready to fight, because we're dealing with a nation. This is not an urban renewal. This is a nation of Puerto Rico that they're taking from us, and we have to stand up. Nobody's going to stand up for us. So we're here creating those networks and this coalition and expanding that, and that's where we go from here. We go from expanding our base and getting more support for self-determination for Puerto Rico and for controlling our barrios, the neighborhood empowerment. If we want to, there's nothing wrong with urban renewal. It just needs to be, we call it neighborhood controlled development. The neighborhood should control the development in that community, because if the people in the neighborhood control it, they're going to look for affordable housing. They're going to look to stabilize the neighborhood, and that's going to prevent gangs and drugs. The reason that there's gangs and drugs is the City Hall came in and destroyed the neighborhood. Neighborhoods that were united, they came and disunited them so that they can push them away from the lakefront and the downtown area. So they did it intentionally to kick us out of there. They didn't know that what they were doing was destroying a neighborhood, or maybe they knew it and they didn't care. They were dislocating the people, the leaders, the grapevine leaders. And that's what it didn't create gangs, because gangs always existed. What it did was it proliferated the gangs. It made them larger, it made them super gangs, and it pushed them into other poor areas. So that means it concentrated the poverty there, and so a small little street corner club becomes this drug cartel, and the city and the government are responsible for that. And they can't take that away. They can't blame that on poor people and our youth. Well, I mean, each city is a little different, but our culture always remains. That we always have our little threads and our little structure there that is just Puerto Rican. Because even though we're in the diaspora, there are 4 million Puerto Ricans in the United States and 4 million in Puerto Rico. Intentionally, they try to break up Puerto Rico, the same way they try to break up the Young Lords and Panthers and other groups. So they have tried to break out, and they have been successful, because 4 million of us are living in Puerto Rico and 4 million here. So here you have different communities, different barrios in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and even San Diego, places like that. Even Hawaii has Puerto Ricans. So you have all these different barrios, and that's what the Young Lords were about, was organizing the barrios, was empowering the barrios, so empowering our communities. We didn't segregate us, the government segregated us, put us in low-income areas that were poor, rotten, and everything else. And so we're saying, okay, we're there, we're going to organize wherever we're at, and we're going to create community. And that's what our families did, and that's what the Young Lords have been working to do also. So that, I guess, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep the power to the people, or que viva el pueblo, like we say, pa'lante siempre pa'lante. This is all related to empowering our community. I want them to know that, number one, to honor your elders, to respect your elders. Like, this is what I learned growing up from my parents. And you know, we should be proud of the young lords. You know, these are people that, against all odds, they fought back and developed communities, and then after they developed communities, they stood up for the community. They stood up for the people, and they included other people. They included their relatives, their families, their neighbors. You know, in every school, they wanted that teaches Latino studies. They talk about the young lords. You know, can you imagine that, talking about somebody that somebody else calls a gang? Because people don't realize that we were not a gang in 1968. We were a gang in 1959. But in 1968, we had decided not to be a gang anymore. And we united with other adults, and we united with our children, and we united with students, and we united with faculty of universities. We united with priests and nuns. You know, we united with professionals. So we were a movement, but they kept calling the entire movement a gang. And that's prejudice, that's racism, and we recognize that as such. But the Young Lords were not a gang. The Young Lords were the leadership of the Puerto Rican community and the other Latino communities and poor communities. These were leaders, they were not gangs, but that's what they so we want the people to respect the elders. If we don't respect ourselves, no one will respect us. So that's the first thing that we need to do. And then we need to utilize the skills that the Young Lords gave us of going door to door, organizing, of talking to families, of setting up programs like the health program, the health clinics, the Breakfast for Children program, feeding their younger generation, of working with the gangs to try to get them out of the gang. You know, those are lessons that we need that are very important. We're saying that there's a drug problem in our community. There is. We're saying that there's a gang problem at the community. There is. We didn't create that mess. But we're saying that we also want to try to make changes for these people. You know, so we didn't create it, but we want to try to help our own people. And for that, we got persecuted. But I mean, they did that to any movement. They did it to the Christian church, the martyrs, the catacombs, the Christians in the catacombs that were eaten by the lions. So this is what happens in every movement. We knew that was going to happen to us. And that's what the Young Lords did. And the community, we need to respect each other. Well, we need to unite. We need to unite with the many to defeat the few. We have a nation that's being under attack right now. We're at war right now, and we have to defend Puerto Rico by all means. And so we need to understand that we're all unique, and we all have different perspectives, but we need to bring all those perspectives together. That's the only way we're going to be able to change Puerto Rico too. We need to use our friends that are not Puerto Ricans. We need to work, ask them to help us. We're fighting the most powerful army in the world, and we need to not underestimate that army. We need all the support that we can get from all over the world and from all of our people. So we got to forget that sectarianism where, you know, if you don't believe in what I believe, you're wrong. No, if you don't believe in what I believe, you're right. We all have different beliefs. We all have different perspectives, and that's what Puerto Rico is. A nation of many perspectives and many viewpoints. And so we need to bring all those viewpoints together and those perspectives and stand up for our nation as a whole, as a united body. And then build unity with other movements so that we can support each other and they can support us. We're a direct colony of the United States. The youth have the skills. We need to use those skills in the right way, you know, for our people.